Good morning, everyone. My name is Prashant. I'm studying in BTech 4th semester CSCC, bearing the roll number 22951A05F9. My Tech Talk topic is In Search of Strategy Against Misinformation. Okay, abstract. Misinformation spread through social media has become a fundamental challenge in modern society. Recent studies have evaluated various strategies for addressing this problem, such as modifying social media platforms or educating people about misinformation to various degrees of success. Our goal is to develop a new strategy for countering misinformation. Intelligent tools that encourage social media users to foster metacognitive skills in the wild. As a first step, we conducted focus group with social media users to discover how they can be best supported in combating misinformation. Qualitative analysis of the discussion revealed that people find it difficult to detect misinformation. Findings also indicated a need, but lack of resources to support cross validation of information. Moreover, misinformation had a nuanced emotional impact on people. Suggestions for the design of intelligent tools that support social media users in information selection, information engagement, and emotional response management are presented. Moving on to the introduction. Misinformation is regarded as a fundamental challenge in the contemporary communication landscape of social media. Even though misinformation is not a new phenomenon, its increase in volume and large number of people exposed to it has caused widespread alarm in recent years. It is therefore not surprising that how to address the issue of misinformation has received a lot of attention, not only from researchers but also from social media platforms themselves. Example, Birdwatch by Twitter. Research has focused on understanding how misinformation spreads in social media, designing interventions for correcting misinformation, exploring the ineffectiveness of warnings, and studying users' reaction to fake news posts. As yet, there is still much that we do not understand well about the relationship between emotion and how people handle misinformation on social media. To this end, our goal was to uncover the role of emotion in metacognitive strategies people unknowingly deploy when confronted with social media content. Theoretical background. Role of emotion in social media. Social media differs from traditional information media in being user based, interactive, relationship, and community driven, and valuing emotions over talent. Indeed, user emotion is a driving force on social media. So far, most of the literature has focused on deriving emotional expressions from social media content, particularly through sentiment analysis and other forms of large scale algorithmic approaches to content analysis. For example, a research found that the positive tweets are shared more often than negative tweets. In short, social media can convey and evoke emotion. However, less is known about how emotional reactions to content, especially misinformation. Nelson Field analyzed user behavior in sharing video ads on Facebook. They found that videos rated with positive valence and high arousal were shared 30% more often than videos with negative valence and low arousal. Recent findings in neuroscience suggest emotion and cognition influence each other and are closely related. More work is needed to understand whether and how this plays out across a variety of topics subject to misinformation within social media. Employing metacognitive strategies in social media. Metacognition, defined as thinking about thinking by John Flavel, involves higher order thinking, self monitoring, and self regulation during learning. It can help social media users detect and appropriately react to misinformation. Research indicates that your encouraging metacognitive process aids in identifying false information. Yet many users are not motivated to critically evaluate content. Designing social media platforms with appropriate scaffolds and UX features could promote metacognitive strategies, although there is no applied work on this yet. To address this gap, we conducted a focus group study to understand how users handle emotionally evocative and potentially misleading content. This strategy aims to develop strategies and design guidelines to better support users in managing misinformation on social media. Discussion. Our findings clearly show the social media is an important part of people's everyday life. Moreover, focus group discussions indicate that social media is simply not about connecting with family or friends. Rather, it has become a source of information. Even though participants are conscious about the lack of reliability of this information, misinformation was widely regarded as common occurrence. The discussion revealed three main categories that participants are struggling with: the large amount of misinformation making it more difficult to filter any information, problems with identifying misinformation, especially when facts and false information are mixed, and the mainly negative emotional impact of misinformation on their own feelings but also their feelings towards others. Four patterns related to acting on misinformation also become apparent: ignoring it, especially when deemed not personally relevant, warning family and friends, reporting it to platform, and cross validation using other information sources. Participants also experience different levels of engagement when processing information on social media, ranging from low to medium relevance, checking information about the author or information source, identifying keywords that could signal misinformation, to high. However, none of the participants had a rigorous strategy for identifying misinformation. Indeed, participants noted that the focus group discussion itself allowed them to understand how misinformation can be detected. A limitation of our study is a small sample, which might not be representative of social media users in general. Furthermore, limiting the topic to mass users might have influenced how participants respond in the discussions. Further studies on variety of topics are necessary to validate our findings. Implications. Information selection. Social media users face a deluge of information from various sources, making it challenging to filter out misinformation. Intelligent tools can assist in two ways. Misinformation can be removed on camouflage with opaque overlays or patterns to make it less visible. Previous studies suggested warnings to highlight misinformation, but this can overload users and inadvertently draw attention to false content. Camouflaging misinformation enhances algorithmic transparency and allows users to control over obscuring overlay, which is crucial for maintaining autonomy and considering disabilities. Highlighting strategies such as flagging common misinformation phrases, share this quickly, or providing accessible source information, original source, author cited evidence can help users quickly access truthfulness. Subtle visual cues and timed animations can draw attention to key elements, aiding users in recognizing credible information and reducing anxiety about misinformation. This dual approach aims to support users in managing the information flow and identifying the truthfulness of content effectively. Information engagement. Given the large amount of information that social media users are exposed to do on a daily basis, it is understandable that many choose to ignore those that they do not consider relevant or that they are deemed misinformation. However, engaging with different viewpoints can encourage the re-evaluation of one's beliefs and motivate users to think more deeply about an issue. Of course, this issue could go both ways: in opposition to misinformation or towards accepting misinformation as a legitimate alternative. Indeed, only a couple of participants identified raising awareness of cognitive biases and learning how to handle opposing views as important takeaways. Encouraging users to engage more deeply with information that they are exposed to could trigger metacognitive process to reconsider one's own position, reiterate pro and con arguments, and raise awareness of one's own thought process. The usefulness of focus group format still suggests that it might be helpful to encourage people to discuss and cross-reference content with family, friends, or colleagues. Emotional management. Emotions play an important role in people's judgments, information evaluation, and information selection, and thus often affect how we react to certain stimuli. Previous research as well as our studies show that encountering misinformation or conflicting viewpoint trigger a variety of emotional reactions, many with negative balance. For example, emotion recognition systems could provide feedback to users about their emotion responses to information, helping them to better understand their own reactions and the influence of their emotions on thoughts and actions. They will also highlight in advance the sentiments expressed in content not yet read. Emotion monitoring systems could prompt users to take time out or focus more on self-care when extreme emotions are triggered. or when negative emotions persist for an extended period of time. Conclusion: misinformation is difficult to detect and emotionally react to. Current platform and tools are arguably education and social environments are not sufficient to help people make sense of the content they are exposed to online, especially if it is divisive. Yet, as our findings show, people do exercise metacognitive skills without training or prompting. Yet, these skills may not be sufficient to recognize and handle responses to all forms of negative social media content, or indeed all forms of misinformation at times. As I suggested, these informal strategies may be translated into design guidelines for intelligent tools that take on burden of detecting divisive content and assisting people during social media use. Such tools may help everyday social media users to develop the metacognitive skills that they need to handle the infodemic information while retaining their autonomy and continuing to enjoying the brighter side of social media. Thank you.